There's a lot of breaking news today. Of course, the jobless claim filings continue to go up. It was officially reported at 4.4 million new signups for unemployment insurance. That brings the total officially to 26.4 million Americans out of work. Many more than that, of course. There's lots of people I know who can't even get a response. The systems are overwhelmed. Florida apparently has got a terrible, terrible response. It's just a broken system. Texas is bad. I talked to somebody yesterday who thinks he filed for unemployment in Texas, but isn't sure if they even received it. Millions and millions of Americans are out of work. Now we've got all kinds of political news, and I swear to you, I promise you, I think you know me. I've tried so hard to keep any of this from being political. I don't care who's a Republican and a Democrat in terms of trying to stay healthy and avoiding COVID-19 and being able to provide for your family and eat and have money, to live. This is we're being asked to make a terrible decision. That's collectively. I'm talking about the president, the governors, the mayors, the American people. It is a terrible decision. Had to talk to a dear friend of mine today. His wife is so battened down, I don't know that she's ever going to leave the house. He won't even get carry out or take out from a local restaurant because his wonderful wife is afraid of what could happen with strangers preparing food. She's going to cook. She's cooking every single meal. How long do you think that can last? Months? A year? The rest of their lives? So I've been trying so hard to avoid left, right. I mean, this goofy politicization of medicines. I don't even get it. I don't even understand the accusation made by some official who was relieved of his duties yesterday because he went on an anti-hydroxychloroquine tear, and he accused the president of politicizing hydroxychloroquine. I got a question for anybody. What benefit does President Trump have in politicizing a medicine that could provide hope? The hydroxychloroquine thing is an anti-malaria drug. What about the anti-Ebola drug? Doctors are saying they're seeing great results from that. If the president says, hey, we hope that works, is that politicizing a drug? What does that even mean? The only people that have politicized it are people who don't like the fact that Trump tried to provide some promise for a potential game-changing medicine. How's that political? But I'll tell you what is political, and there can be no doubt about this. Speaking to donors during a phone call Tuesday night, former Vice President Biden, who according to a recent Fox News poll is now ahead in Michigan, he's leading in all the states, all the swing states. Biden is ahead of Trump just across the board. He is leading President Trump. According to Katie Pavlich of Town Hall, who quoted a pool report of the phone call that Joe Biden had with donors, Biden said this, quote, I believe because sort of the blinders have been taken off because of this COVID crisis. I think people are realizing, my Lord, look at what is possible. Look at the institutional changes we can make without us becoming a socialist country or any of that malarkey, that we can make to provide the opportunities to change the institutional drawbacks from education all the way through to all the other things we talked about. Biden said, if it sounds like I'm excited, I am. I am. Remember Rahm Emanuel? Remember Rahm Emanuel, Eric? Holy cow. Do you remember? I'll never forget it, actually.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
It's fair to say that's the Democrat fallback position, right? Don't let this crisis go to waste. Joe Biden is excited about COVID providing the opportunity for institutional changes to be made. That should bring you to your knees. And it gets worse. One of the darlings of the Democrat Party, indeed, many people believe Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was the driving force behind Pelosi and Schumer delaying replenishing the payment protection program for small business owners. It was AOC's loud voice. Listen to what she said in a Vice interview about people going back to work in America.
There's a lot that we could be doing right now, but ultimately, I think when we talk about this idea of reopening society, only in America does the president, when the president tweets about liberation, does he mean go back to work? When we, have this discussion about going back or reopening, I think a lot of people should just say, no, we're not going back to that. We're not going back to working 70-hour weeks just so that we could put food on the table and not even feel any sort of semblance of security in our lives.
Are you on the floor yet? Have you picked yourself off the floor yet? Because I got one better for you. I'll give you the governor of New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo, who talked about those around the country desperately protesting to try to get the government to give permission to start opening up the economy again. Here's Governor Cuomo's suggestion to those protesters.
I get the economic hardship. Everybody gets it. Everybody feels it. You want to go to work? Go take a job as an essential worker.
You want to go to work? Go take a job as an essential worker. I suppose he means what? Police officer? Surgeon? Nurse? Doctor? What's essential? This whole debate about what's essential and what's not is making me like literally crazy. People are mocking hair salon women who cut hair or barbers. That's not essential. You don't need a haircut. Well, it sure is essential to the barber. It sure is essential to the single mom who works as a hairstylist who hasn't had any income for 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 weeks or whatever it's been and doesn't know how she's going to feed her babies. You think she thinks she's essential? Wow. I mean, there is a definite difference, a drastic, dramatic difference between what prominent Democrats are saying and what prominent Republicans are saying. And quite frankly, I haven't seen a whole lot of examples of Republicans clearly trying to maximize and excitedly respond to a crisis in order to impact an agenda. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Tell me some more about Biden leading Trump in all the polls. Tell me about Democrats doing well right now as Nancy Pelosi stands in front of her pair of $24,000 refrigerators on a late night comic show and laughs about eating gourmet ice cream when people are calling and emailing shows like mine saying that you're down to your last pennies and you don't know what you're going to do.